While you're waiting, we're going to start on our backs tonight. So start on your backs with your knees bent, giving, hi Sam, giving your knees support by taking your feet a little bit wide on your mat and let the knees tent in. So the knees are going to rest, your back is going to rest, and explore in these first few moments, allowing the arms to fall down by the sides. Take a couple breaths. Give it some time for the backs of the arms to land, and just observe whatever is showing up for you. Maybe you're going to take your arms out a little bit further, out like a T, and then maybe explore a few breaths of hands connected to the body, to the heart, to the belly, where it feels really natural for you. In these first few moments of practice, for me, I really value it as a moment that is oftentimes the first moment I've stopped moving. Oftentimes. And it's a check-in. A check-in to notice how you're feeling in all capacities. Where's the mind going? What stories are running? How the breath is flowing? What are you noticing in the body, in the means of sensation, thought? Just notice. And then as we're laying here with the head supported, the back supported, and the knees supported together, notice your feet connected to the earth. I'm going to ask you for a few breaths just to focus on where you notice the breath traveling. When given that prompt, when given that cue of notice the breath, what do you tune into? Begin to deepen the breath, giving yourself the opportunity to notice whatever you're noticing, perhaps on a little bit deeper level. Maybe it'll become a little bit louder for you, and you'll be like, oh, there it is. And I'm noticing it hanging out all the way up here. My collarbones and my shoulders are tight. Or maybe that's not what you're feeling. Maybe you're lying down and you've got that, okay, I'm down. I'm good. So just check in. Just notice whatever you're noticing about the breath. The temperature, the sensation, where it's showing up. And then just sound. Just the sound of specifically your breath, just for the purpose of exploring, is that something that I perhaps can use as an anchor? As you deepen your breath, listen to the sounds. Listen to the sound of the inhale. Listen to the sound of the exhale. And maybe that's going to be your anchor for now. Maybe not. Give yourself the opportunity to explore it, to check it out. another breath. And then bring your attention to the body and the physical, the soles of the feet that are touching the mat, the back body from the hips all the way up to the back of the head, your arms if they're on the floor. Just notice the body connected down. Allow words like connection and grounding to come in for exploration, anchoring to come in for exploration. And if there's something that's standing out to you as a strong, yeah, that's what I can give my attention to, then that's your anchor. And it's going to change, most likely. It'll change as circumstances change, and we know circumstances are always changing. So whatever your chosen anchor is, give your attention to that space. And then start to walk your feet hip distance apart. Still staying on your back for a moment. Take a breath in. On your exhale, draw both knees into the chest. Give them a hug. Take a full breath in. Extend both legs straight up in the air. Pause there for a full breath in. And a full breath out. Now fill up with breath with legs extended. Draw the legs down into your body again. So you're hugging the legs down in. Stay here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Fill up with breath. Extend both legs straight up in the air again. You're still on your back, legs straight up. This time you're going to pause here and cross the legs. Doesn't matter, we'll do both sides. So maybe your right thigh is going to cross over your left thigh. Begin to bend the knees with legs crossed. And as you're bending the knees into your chest with legs crossed, allow your feet to come out to the side. And maybe you're going to reach up with your hands and catch the ankles or the toes. Maybe the shins. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out, and release that. Uncross the legs and send both legs straight up. Full breath in. Full breath out. Keeping your attention on your anchor. Cross the thighs the opposite way. Rebend the knees, hugging the knees in with legs crossed. Taking your feet out to the sides. Once again, maybe you're going to grab onto the shins, the ankles, the feet while you're hugging in. And begin to uncross the legs again. Extend the legs back up. Full breath in. Stay right here for your full breath out. Breathe in again. And this time, hug the left knee into the chest and start to lower the right leg down to the mat, nice and slow. Use that exhale to draw the low belly in as you're releasing that right leg all the way down to the mat. Good. Cross the left leg over the body, take a twist. Come back through center, extend both legs straight up in the air again. Good. Full breath in. As you exhale, hug the right knee down this time. Slowly on your next exhale, slowly the left leg comes down to the floor. Slowly. Use that exhale to draw the belly in for support all the way down. Once you're down, cross the right leg over the body to take a twist. Where's your anchor? Beautiful. One more time. Come back to center. Extend both legs up to the sky. Good. When you feel your exhale coming into the body, draw both knees into the chest. Begin to rock forward and back. So you've got that long length. Take your time here. Take your time here. Let that rocking forward and back the long way on your mat be maybe 3, 4, or 5 times. Eventually, you're going to come all the way over and down into child's pose. So child's pose, come all the way down so that you are on your torso, on your shins. Big toes behind you, hips sitting on heels, knees wide. Torso's coming down towards the floor, supporting the head with the floor, hands or a prop that you may have handy nearby. Let the arms either be forward or back by the hips. Nice deep breaths here. Come back to your chosen anchor. Notice if the anchor has changed for you. With the knowledge of knowing that the mind is a filter between you and your outside world, know that it can make your perception of situations better or worse. But your mind is not an enemy. However, untrained, it can take you on some wild rides. So with that thought in mind, I've been very drawn to the word nourishment lately. When I heard that, that was just a word that resonated with me to take me deeper into my practice. Come up out of child's pose into hands and knees, please. Hands and knees with the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Beautiful. Begin to move that spine around, maybe a little bit of a cat-cow motion, which is lowering the belly down to the earth. And on your exhale, push away and round through the spine. If you are practicing from seated, it's the same movement, allowing the low back to accentuate a gentle arch, and then drawing the belly in to round around the back. Keep moving in that motion or a similar motion that feels to you what you would consider to be nourishing. And sometimes nourishing isn't soft and gentle. Sometimes nourishing is a power walk. Sometimes nourishing is a nap. Sometimes nourishing is a meal that really fills you and feeds you to a place where your energy feels aligned. Whatever spinal movement that you have been enjoying, come to a neutral spine at this point. Walk your hands a little bit further. We're going to come into down dog. So your hands are going to move a little bit further in front of you, toes to the back of the mat. Lift those hips up nice and high. So with the visualization of being upside down, an upside down V, with your tailbone being that peak. And enjoy a nourishing movement or stillness here. And pay attention too, if my cueing tonight is too fast at any time or too slow at any time, this is where you really have the space. You're in the privacy of your own homes. I can't see you. I don't know who else in your homes can see you. But this is that space to really create a practice for you. And it's by that exploration that the discoveries can happen. They open up those opportunities to take a breath. If you are still in your down dog holding that pose, lift the heels up nice and high. Exhale, release the heels down to the mat. One more time. Inhale, lift those heels. Exhale, release the heels down. This time as you lift the heels up, drop the heels over to the right. Pause here for a moment. Full breath in. Full breath out. Come in through center, drop them over to the left. Full breath in. Full breath out. Bring the heels up to center, lifting up onto the balls of your feet. Bend the knees a little bit here and walk your feet up to your hands. Feet come up to your hands, remembering if my cues are too fast or too slow, please go at your pace. Inhale to a halfway lift. Bring the fingertips up to maybe the shins, maybe the thighs, maybe the hips. Exhale, really release the whole breath as you fold over the legs. So the body comes down, upper body comes and folds forward. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold again. From here, supporting your fingertips or grabbing ankles, maybe you take your feet mat width apart. What is nourishing here? Hey, I see some names showing up that I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jessica. Good to see those names pop up. Beautiful. Start to walk the feet back under the hips if you took a wider stance. Release the arms and very gently come up to a halfway lift. From here, take a full breath in, and as you exhale, really engage the low abs and bring your right arm forward. You're still in that halfway lift. And then your left arm forward. You might notice this becoming a little more challenging, or maybe it's exactly what you wanted. Start to raise the torso up and sit the hips, coming into chair pose. So the hips gently glide back. Those feet are parallel. Take your eyes down. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't, bring the hips back a little bit more. Beautiful. Those arms are forward. Take a full breath in. Stay right here for your exhale. Soften the shoulders. Make your exhale loud if that feels nourishing. Another full breath in. Stay in your chair pose. Sweep the left arm back. Good. As you inhale, bring both hands together. As you exhale, bring the right hand back. Staying in that chair pose. Inhale, come through center with both arms forward. Left arm goes back. Inhale, come up again. Exhale, right arm goes back. Both arms forward, forward fold. Take your feet wide again. Release and relax. So the definition of nourishment can absolutely change from moment to moment. I know in my experience, I've had moments where I was laughing so hard I almost cried, and then the next moment I feel like the rug's pulled out from underneath me. That's life. Life can do that. So when we have this practice of what's nourishing in that moment, we start to build some tools to help us navigate what shows up. Beautiful. Walk the feet back under the hips. Beautiful. Bend the knees. So you're going to come down to a squatted position. Move myself back a little bit. Come down into this squatted position. Get nice and long in the spine. And then bring the hands on the inside. No, we're not going to an arm balance just yet. But inside of the thighs. And I'd just like you for a moment to notice the sensations that show up when you plant your hands and you give a little bit of resistance with the arms and the legs together. Nice long spine. Just hold here for a moment. Breathe in and breathe out. And then from this space, walk your hands forward and come back to down dog. Hips go nice and high. Beautiful. Sweep the right leg up on your next inhale. Take your eyes forward, draw your low belly in, and step that foot right between your hands. Maybe if it lands partway, grab behind the ankle and help it get there. You're in your low lunge. Find that nice long spine once again and rise up to a crescent lunge. Nice and long. Release the hands behind the back for one breath. Interlace the hands behind the back. Stretch them, lengthen them out. Inhale, sweep them up and come right back down to the floor. Hands on either side of that front leg. Step back, down dog. Beautiful. Left leg reaches out behind you. Full breath in. Look forward and step forward. Same thing here. Get long. Feel your feet on the ground. What is nourishing here? Maybe it's stability that's nourishing here, and you're going to focus. Maybe you're going to bring your right knee down. Inhale, sweep up. Arms come up. Shoulders stack over the hips. Release the hands behind the back. Nice little stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, frame that front foot. Hands come down to the mat. Step it back, down dog. Hips are nice and high. In stillness or with a little bit of motion. Your version of nourishment. Take a breath in and glide forward, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Yeah, I said that. Shoulders over hips. Shoulders over wrists. Plank pose. Press back, down dog. We're going to do that again. Shoulders over wrists. Plank pose. Beautiful. Lift up, down dog. This time, as you come forward into that plank pose, that upper push-up pose, you choose knees up or down. We're going to move through a flow. If you already are familiar with that, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to break it down a little bit. So with knees down and toes, the tops of the toes touching on the mat, bend the elbows and allow the heart to release down towards the floor. Peel the heart up, little baby back bend. Exhale and release. We're going to do 2 more times. Keep the hands nice and soft here, light hands. Peel the heart up away from the floor. Release down. And 1 more time. Beautiful. Hands by your low ribs. Take a full breath. Use your exhale to press back to knees. Tuck the toes. And lift the hips. Down dog. Inhale to lift the right leg up behind you once again. Look forward. We're going to take that stepping motion forward once again. Rise up. Open up this time to Warrior 2, which means the front fingers are over the front toes. Back fingers over the back foot, and the back foot drops down. Really soften the shoulders here for a moment. Pause. Flip both palms up. Let those shoulders release. Beautiful. And then just the front palm flip forward, flip up. And reach it back. Keep the front knee right over the ankle. Beautiful. Slowly release the front forearm down to the thigh. Back arm, left arm extends upward. Okay. Notice if you're really using this right arm to hang on. Just a very light rest. Beautiful. Full breath in. Sweep it back up to your warrior two. Flip that front palm again. Reach it back. Beautiful. Both hands down to the mat. The front foot, back foot step. Back heel lifts up. Step back. Down dog. We're going to move through a flow again, but know that you can always come back here and stay in down dog. Drop the knees down into child's pose. Or create your own version of exploration that is nourishing to you. Take a full breath in. Lower the knees or not if you're going through a flow. Release the heart to the floor. If you're following me, peel the heart, baby back bend. Release it down 2 more times. Baby back bend. Release it down. Nourishing breath. And press through knees, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Beautiful. So all joining back in down dog or wherever it is nourishing to you. Lift that left heel this time. Look forward and step forward. Rise up. Stacking shoulders over hips. I'm going to spin around. Beautiful. On another breath, open up to your warrior two on this side. Back heel swivels down. Arms forward and back, tracking over the knees. Beautiful. Flip the front palm, sweep it back. Right hand's extending down the back leg. Beautiful, soft breath. Bring the left forearm to the thigh, right arm extends up. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, come back up to warrior two. One more time, flip back. And cartwheel your hands down. Both hands frame the front foot, back heel flips up. Step it back. Moving through a flow or your form of stillness. If you're following me, shift over, shoulders over the wrists. I'm going to stay with knees up this time, but you can lower down. Lower the heart to the floor. Peel the heart up off the floor. Release down. Little baby back bend. Pressing back up through knees or through plank and back to down dog. Take your eyes forward. Walk both feet to your hands. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Rise all the way to stand. With your hands up above the head, lift up and hover over to your left side. And we're going to hold here for a few breaths. The exploration of what is really nourishing to you in this moment. How much of the bending over to the left side is a space that is sustainable? Is it a space that allows you to breathe? Maybe loosen up some tensions. Beautiful. Come back through center. Soften those shoulders. Really reconnect with your feet on the floor before you switch to the other side. Softness, drawing low belly in, and hinge over to the right. For an opportunity to explore here, which might be completely different than the left. Where is that sustainable space that's giving your body what it really needs? Come back up through center. Release the arms down around the back, interlacing the fingers. The palms touch here. So if that means bending the elbows, bend the elbows. The upper arm bones draw as if they could come together. Feeling your feet on the earth. Nice long spine. Beautiful. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come back into chair pose. So that chair pose is sitting the hips down and back as if you're moving into a chair, into a seated position. Sweep the arms out forward in front of you. Beautiful. Right hand stays. Left hand sweeps back. Breath in, hands come together. Breath out, right hand sweeps back. Breath in, together. Left hand. Together, maybe you sit the hips a little more. Right hand. Together, one more on each side. Left hand. Together, right hand. Beautiful. Together and forward fold. Your forward fold might be short distance of the mat with a gentle hanging over. Lots of bend in the knees here. If you're feeling really a pull in the backs of the legs versus a release, give yourself some space. Bend the knees so it turns into more of a release than an overextension. You can also turn yourself the long way on the mat. One more big breath in and a long breath out. Wherever you are, bring your feet back under the hips and inhale to halfway lift. Exhale and fold and shift yourself so you're running long on your mat again and come back into an upper push-up. So transitioning to shoulders over wrists, heels over the balls of the feet. Just pause here for a moment. Another variation of a vinyasa can be stillness of holding the plank. If your preference is to move through a flow, either follow along or take your variation. This time I'm going to lower halfway down. Untuck my toes, straighten my arms for what's commonly known as up dog. Tucking the toes, coming back to plank, and then down dog. Beautiful. Full breath in. Walk feet to the hands. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Sweep all the way up. Hands come down to the heart. Pausing here for just a moment. Feeling your feet on the earth. And noticing nourishment for you. Sweep both arms up on an inhale. Exhale, sit back into chair pose. I'm going to come sideways on my mat. I was trying to stay visible for you if you happen to be looking this way. A nice full breath in, staying with these hips down, dipped into chair pose. We're going to shift the weight into the right leg. Lift up the heel of the left. Okay, hands at heart center. Feel the balance, feel the shift, feel the change
in the body. And then take your left leg and step it as far back on your mat as you can. Coming back into crescent lunge. Shoulders over the hips, right knee stacked over the right ankle. Beautiful. Exhale, fold down over your front leg. Plant your left hand down. Open up the right arm to the sky. Beautiful. Both hands come down on the mat. Step forward. So feet meet again. Hands come to the heart. Back into chair pose. Shift your weight into your left leg. Right heel lifts. So exploring the shift. Exploring how your body is responding to this change. And then step your right toes all the way to the back of the mat. Sweep the arms up again. Beautiful. Start to hover over your front leg. Right hand comes down. Open up into a twist. Left hand reaches to the sky. Beautiful. Both hands connect down. Step forward again. Hands come up to heart. Chair pose. Beautiful. We're going to transition from here into a warrior 3, which simply means we're going to straighten the right leg, lift up the left, send the left leg back. Hands can stay at the heart, or explore some variations, maybe in front, maybe in back, maybe out to the side with goalpost arms. Beautiful. Keep that left leg lifted. Touch fingertips down to the mat. Lift up, lift up. Beautiful. Reconnect. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Rise all the way up. Hands come back to the heart. Pause and catch your breath. Beautiful. Begin to sit the hips. Chair pose again. This time as we straighten the leg, it's going to be the left leg that's going to straighten and stay connected. And the right foot this time is going to kick back. Beautiful. Exploring variations of the arms, maybe the hips this time. Maybe interlaced at the low back. Exploration of what is nourishing to you. Beautiful. Hands come down to the mat. Let that back leg extend up to wherever it's going to go. Step the feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold back into either down dog, child's pose, or go through a flow. We've gone through a few of them. Choose which one your body is desiring now, in this new moment. Beautiful. Take a breath in. From down dog, walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Rise all the way to stand. Hands come to heart. Beautiful. This time as we sit the hips down into chair pose again, let's shift the weight into the left leg, bringing your right leg, right ankle, up and over into a standing pigeon. Ankle on the thigh, hips sitting back as if we were moving into chair pose. Lots of variations here. Some of you may feel like hinging forward, reaching the hands towards the floor. Others may want to reach the arms up. Beautiful. Release your foot, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and jump back again to an upper push-up. Feeling either stillness or moving through a flow, choose your variation. I'm going to hold my plank steady this time, but you can move, you can lower down to the mat, do a baby back bend, curling up into that little gentle arch. Make it yours. Faster or slower than my cueing. And then head back to down dog. From down dog, full breath in. Walk those feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Rise all the way up. Reach it up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. We're going to move right into that standing pigeon on the other side. So bending the right knee. This time left ankle comes up on top. Really flex your foot here. That's going to help keep this whole knee, ankle stability in place. Maybe the exploration might be this time to put a hand on the bottom of your foot and on your knee and give a little squeeze. Notice what shows up with the shoulders when you get that little bit of engagement. Maybe it's going to make you fall. Another breath in. Long breath out. Release and forward fold. Take your feet wide on your mat again. Wide on the short side, wide on the long side. Make it yours. Just giving yourself the space to tip upside down. Toes out just a little bit. Beautiful. Now take your feet just a little bit wider. Okay. Toes pointed outward. If you have more stability on the long way of your mat, turn your body so you're on the long way. And then stack the shoulders over the hips. So you're kind of sitting down a little bit in this wider stance. Beautiful. Sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, drop your arms into cactus arms, which are kind of like a football goalpost. Just feel that right there. Now we're going to move fluidly. Left arm down towards the left thigh. Reach the right arm over the head. Come through center. Switch sides. Come through center. Switch sides. One more. Center. Switch. Keep breathing. Where's the mind going? Lift up. Walk your feet back under the hips. Forward fold. Beautiful. Either back to stillness or go through one more flow of your choice. Upper push-up, maybe halfway down, maybe extending the arms with the tops of the feet connected firmly. Back through plank. Down dog. Beautiful. And then gently lower your knees down to the floor. So you're coming into hands and knees. Once you're connected, the wrists are under the shoulders again, the knees under the hips. Lower the belly down, reach the heart forward. You feel that exhale coming into your body. Draw that belly in, round. Back into that cat-cow. Belly down. Just one more. Round through the spine. Come to a neutral space. Take your right knee. I'm going to lift up this right knee. We're going to cross it behind the left knee. We sort of did this on our backs. Open the feet nice and wide. Right. Now, this may be enough sensation right here. So stay right here if that's your choice. Otherwise, start to walk your hands back until your knees begin to stack. For me, it is most appropriate to give myself a little bit of height under one of my hips. I use a block. You can use whatever it is that you have available. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, open them out to the sides. Take the right arm under the left, wrapping around. Lots of variations here. So maybe the arms are going to land on the shoulders. Maybe the backs of the hands are going to join. Maybe they'll wrap around. So in the yoga world, I'm combining two different pose names with the upper body and the lower body, but that's what landed this time. Sometimes we've got to do crazy things like that. A piece of this, a piece of that, to make the whole. Slowly unwind. Pause before you come out of the legs. Roll the shoulders. Beautiful. Now come forward. I'm just going to switch to the other side. Oh, I'm changing my mind, giving you the option of moving through two cat-cows before switching to the other side. Belly down, rounding. Beautiful. Come back to that neutral spine. Left knee hovers behind the right, hovers, connects. Take the feet wide. Nice long spine. Start to walk back once again. Again, my preference is to have a block under my hips. You may feel as though your hips need to come all the way to the floor or stay higher. So finding that space that really works appropriately for you. Breath in, extends the arms out to the sides, nice and wide. Left arm sweeps under the right, hugging either the shoulders, bringing the backs of the hands together, or wrapping the arms around so that the palms touch. Bringing your attention to one thing. You choose here. You're going to give attention to the chatter in the mind. You're going to give your attention back to one of those anchoring choices. Maybe to the space of noticing the sensation in the hips, in the shoulders. And all your attention might be to direct softness and ease into those spaces. Slowly unwind. Release the arms, roll the shoulders forward, roll them back. Beautiful. Shake out the arms. Back to hands and knees. Uncross the legs. Move your prop if you were using one. Lower the belly down to the earth. Exhale, round through the spine. One more. Belly to the earth. Round through the spine. Big toes touch as you come into neutral spine. Knees go wide, child's pose. Lowering that torso down.
And then taking the right arm under the left, weave it under for a little gentle twist. Come through center to the other side. Hello to those who've joined that I didn't notice before. My dad, Marilyn, Sue. Good to see your names. Come through center. Start to transition down to your back. Back to that space from which we began. With knees bent, feet a little bit wide, knees rest together in the center. Exploring arm variations for just a couple breaths. Allowing yourself to really, really land in a space where you might not even be able to explain why you're choosing where you're choosing. So from that space of letting go and just moving into this rest. Hi, Michelle. Beautiful. Walk your feet hip distance apart. So the knees are going to come parallel now. Thighs parallel. Draw the knees into the chest. Good. Hug them in. Breath in and breath out. Beautiful. Allow both knees to fall over to the right. Come through center, both knees falling over to the left. If you've joined us and you're seated in a chair, this could be a simple twist. Just wrapping yourself, one arm behind the back, one in the front. If you're in an upright variation, come back through center, hug those knees in one more time. This time we're going to cross the thighs. So right thigh on top. We did this in the beginning. We've done this through different variations of on the floor. Crossing right thigh on top. So the feet are going to separate. And once again, grabbing either the thighs, the shins, the ankles, the toes, wherever it works for you, so that your upper back can still stay relaxed down on the floor. Softness in the jaw. Beautiful. Unwind, and before you switch to the other side, allow your feet to land. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now switch sides. Opposite thigh crosses over, feet move outward, hugging the upper thighs in towards the body. Coming back to where we started. Knowing that the mind is a filter between you and the outside world. And it can make your perception of situations better or worse. Though it is not your enemy, if it is untrained, it can take you on some wild rides. And cross the legs. Beautiful. Start getting ready to set out for your final resting pose of Shavasana. Allow one leg to stretch out, the other leg to stretch out, or maybe you're near your couch or a chair and you want to put the backs of the calves up on a slightly elevated surface. Sometimes that's a nice option. But keeping your back down on the floor. Take a big breath in, maybe the biggest one yet. Let go. Release it. Squeeze the air out and soften the whole body. Close the eyes. Soften through the throat. Allowing the exploration of peacefulness, nourishment, patience. What do all of these words mean to you, and how do they feel in the body? Not too many months ago, there was an exercise during a training in which we were asked to describe ourselves. This was probably in the fall. And at that time of my life, in that very moment, I used the word a mess. Because my mind created a perception that if I felt multiple emotions, that it was messy. But with some chosen tools, some guidance, some loving support, I began to realize that for me, the mess is what makes us whole. Because we are all of it. And for me to allow all the emotions to exist without taking over, without being compulsive in one space versus the other, that's nourishment for me. Nourishment for my heart, nourishment for the soul. It gave me permission to be okay with whatever was showing up in that moment. So in your last few moments of your Shavasana pose, your resting pose, I'm going to ask you one more time, how does it feel to be nourished? What does that feel like to you? Nourishment, when you allow that word to land on you, and maybe it's not your word, but for the purpose of exploration, what might that feel like? And if you're not feeling nourished, maybe there's room for some playfulness and imagination for now. And wherever you have landed, whether you are seated or still down on the floor, bring your attention. We're going to close wherever you are this practice for this evening with attention on the heart, attention to your truth, and the path of discovering what that means to you. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe your hand has landed on the heart. We close with peace, with love, and with gratitude. And this is your practice for as long as you want to stay there. Go ahead and stay there. And I'll see you again next week. Namaste.